Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back. I hope you're having a great start to your week. So I have 3 fragrances left that I need to review for the new Kringle Reserve drop that is happening for summer 2024. The launch is happening this week. It's happening on the 20th at noon Eastern Standard Time. That's actually the first day of summer. So I've already reviewed 3 of the fragrances. I will post the reviews for Merlot, Heartwood, and Grilled PB&J in the description box down below. But today I'll be sharing my thoughts on the Gingered Peach in this video here, and a little bit later on today, you'll see my thoughts on Bonfire. And then tomorrow I will post my thoughts on Caramel, Cocoa, and Toasted Fluff. So that way you guys have these videos available, and hopefully they will help you make an informed decision about whether you want to add any of these particular reserve candles to your collection or not. As always, let me know if you have any questions about any of the fragrances. I've been burning them now for the last couple of weeks pretty constantly, so I'm pretty familiar with the fragrances. I have, by the way, since moved the Grilled PB&J into a candle crock. If you are interested in picking that one up, I would definitely encourage you to watch my review first, because the wicks that are used in this particular collection, well, I think the wicks are all kind of different depending on the scent, because a couple of the wicks are forming much bigger mushroom tops. But a few of the candles have the same wicks that I'm used to with the reserve candles. So there's some wick variation, and it is definitely giving some, performance differences, if you will. So definitely watch all the reviews. If you are particular about your wicks, you want to make sure you research these pretty carefully before placing an order. Speaking of, I'll link where you can find them in the description box down below. When they're launching on Thursday, they will not be on sale. If you're familiar with the reserve candles, they very rarely do go on sale. So you can either use rewards points if you have any. You can also use my discount code Melanie15. That'll save you at least 15% off of these. But reserve candles just in general don't really go on sale. So, all right, let's dive into Gingered Peach. I was a little bit nervous about this one because honestly, I struggle with ginger. It's not my least liked fragrance note, if you will, but it's one of those where if it's really heavy or like very prominent in a fragrance, I tend to just, it's a little spicy to my nose. And ginger just in general, if you're consuming it, like it does have a little bit of like a spicy tang to it. And it's the same when you are smelling fresh ginger. Like it just has this kind of like a bite to it almost. So I can take it in small doses. I cannot take it in large doses. So I was a little bit nervous that this would be like half peach, half ginger. But I'm happy to say that the ginger is a little bit more of an accent in this fragrance. It's there, so if you don't like ginger, don't buy this because you are going to smell it in here, but it's not something that takes over the entire fragrance. So I just want to kind of allay maybe some fears that are out there. This is a very unique take on peach. It's not my favorite take on peach. I tend to prefer the more like super ripe, super juicy type of peach fragrances, the very sweet ones. And I wouldn't consider this one overly sweet. So it's a little bit of a different peach. Let's go ahead and read through the fragrance notes. The top notes are peach and nectar. The mid notes are apricot and spice. The base is sweet and cane sugar. All right, so what are you smelling here? First of all, there is definitely a healthy dose of peach in here, but it's not like a super sweet peach. It's almost like a peach. You know how sometimes when you buy them at the grocery store and they're just not quite ripe, like they're still just a little bit hard. In the past, I have taken those types of peaches and just grilled them, and it does definitely sweeten them up a little bit, especially since I sprinkled some sugar on them. Grilled peaches are delightful, and I do think the peaches that are maybe a little bit more firm and not quite super, super juicy and ripe, Those tend to grill the best. But this is like one of those peaches that it's still kind of hard. Like you can technically eat it, but it's not the most enjoyable peach to eat. But it definitely has peach fragrance or peach smell to it, but it's almost like you're not getting as much of like the sweetness, the sugariness, right? Like it just needs maybe a few more days on the counter to like soften up. Like that's the peach that I'm getting. It's not quite ripe yet. In terms of nectar, not really. Nectar to me implies really intense sweetness, and I'm not getting that from here. So also for me, the base of the sweet and the cane sugar, I don't know. I just don't consider this like a really super sweet peach scent, especially since I kind of gravitate towards peach fragrances. So the ones that I really like are a little bit sweeter, and this just does not have that sweetness to it. I do, however, get a little bit of that apricot in here as well. Apricot has kind of, I feel like stone fruits all kind of smell somewhat similar. They each have their own like nuance, but apricot really smells, it's a very unique, I don't even know how to explain it, but I'm sure we've all seen an apricot. We've probably all eaten an apricot. It's like a peachiness, but almost powdery in a way. That's what apricots smell like to me. Almost like you took like some like maybe like powdered sugar or something and incorporated it into the peach. It just changes it to like a softer, like peachier, but you know, apricot scent, if that makes sense. There's definitely some apricot in here, so I think it pairs really well with the peach, but it's not something where when you are burning it, you're like, oh yeah, this is like half peach, half apricot. Definitely more of that slightly unripened peach, touch of that like apricot. And then about, I would say 15% of this candle is that gingery spice type note. So it's definitely in there. You're going to smell it, but it's not overly aggressive. There's not too much of it. I think there's enough of the peach. I think there's enough of the apricot to kind of, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? To like comprise the majority of the fragrance with just a little bit of that like tangy gingeriness to make it a little bit interesting and unique, like I said. I will say I'm enjoying the fragrance, but it's not something that I would personally be drawn to repurchasing. I did receive this one, by the way, in PR, so I did not pay for it. But yeah, for me, I think this is a nice one and done type of peach. I'm glad I got to experience it, but I don't think that I would want more of it. But if you are looking for maybe a summer fruity scent, but you typically don't like a lot of sweeter fruity fragrances, this might be one worth checking out. I think it'll kind of allow you to participate in the summer fruit trend, if you will, but to do it in a way that isn't going to be cloying to your nose. Yeah, to my surprise, it's obviously not me, but there are a lot of people out there that actually don't like sweet fragrances. And so for those of you that typically don't gravitate towards the sweetness, I think this is something different for you, and I think you might actually really enjoy it. I will say, out of the 6 fragrances that were sent to me in PR, this one has been, I would say, the lightest performing in terms of strength and throw. So I would put the strength of this one probably between a 6 and a 7. It varies a little bit. It's more of a 7 in a hurricane, but it's definitely just more of a 6 just on its own, sitting on like, you know, a pedestal or something like that. If there's no candle sleeve, if there's no hurricane, it's noticeable when you walk into the room. It's not like it's unfragranced. That's, you know, that's not the case with this one, but it's lighter. So the travel on this, I would put at more of like, or the throw, if you will, at more of like a 5. It really does tend to stick around in the area predominantly where you're burning it. It doesn't travel a whole lot. But I'm okay with that for this one because, you know, with it not being in my usual wheelhouse, I don't need this one to fragrance the entire house. It's nice for a room to experience something different, but other than that, like I don't need much more from this in terms of strength and throw. So if you're looking for a powerhouse, this is not going to be it. So if that's what you're looking for, skip it. I don't think you'll be happy with it. The wicks, however, on this one are great. I'm going to go ahead and turn the candle to the side so that you can kind of see the flames in there. These wicks I did trim just prior to lighting the candle for this review. I don't actually need to trim the wicks on this one. This has more of those like the self-trimming wicks that we're used to from Kringle, where maybe sometimes every once in a while you'll snip just a little bit off the top, but for the most part they're good to go. So this has those typical wicks, but again, there are other fragrances in this launch where the wicks are way more wicked. They're pretty tall, and the mushroom tops are pretty crazy. So I'm not sure why they had to switch up the wicks for the two fragrances that I experienced that with. I'm assuming it might have to do something with either the oils or, you know, with the combination of the oil and the wax. I'm not sure, but the wicks are definitely different. So anyway, overall burn on this one has been great. No sooting, no discoloration. It's burning like most of the Kringle candles do for me, which is fantastic. Clean, low maintenance. I just kind of set it and forget it. So yeah, if that's what you're looking for, definitely put this one on your list. But if you are looking for a sweet, juicy peach, it's not this one. I don't think it's overly sweet. So anyway, hopefully this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. A little bit later on today, I will have my review of Bonfire, and then like I said, tomorrow we'll review the last fragrance. If you are not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right below the video here. That'll notify you of all of my new content as it goes live here on my channel. And I appreciate you guys being here. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Oops, sorry. Ow. We'll see you in the next one. Toodaloo.